Hi all, this is Ashish Kyal here. Welcome again to Elliott Wave News channel by Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul, a learning series that we have Friday at 4. Every Friday at 4 we connect in order to see what is happening with the markets, what is the overall trend, what do we expect in the coming week, and so on and so forth. So far so good. We have been looking at the market from right from the Elliott Wave perspective to Neo Wave to time cycles, lot of concepts being discussed. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the very important and a simple method that you can possibly think of is channels. A very powerful tool that we are going to be talking about in today's market and how that important trend line stops all of the moves that happens on the market exactly at the same level, not same level, exactly at that same resistance line. So I'm going to showcase you today why that trend line and channel is so extremely important, and you are going to thoroughly love and enjoy that uh, simple method that we are going to talk about in today's session. But before that we proceed, I want to each one of you to participate and tell me how are you doing today evening on a Friday. Everything is well, good. The COVID cases are coming down, looks like that way. I'm hoping each one of you are doing fabulously well and fantastic, right? The markets have been on the up and a tear, but let's just see where we are right now. COVID cases is increasing again over past few days. Yes, that is correct, but let's just see. It seems like we have to survive along with that. So that's going to be there, and every one of us has to take the necessary precaution. Someone is saying face to face was amazing. Thank you very much. That was a fantastic webinar which I did with Vivek Bajaj, face to face interview on how you have to probably start thinking whether it is you that moves the market or the market that moves you. That is very important. In that 1.5 hours of interview I have talked about कि मार्केट आपको आप मार्केट को चलाते हो कि मार्केट आपको चलाता है, और पूरा ब्रह्मांड में जो नियम फॉलो होता है वही स्टॉक मार्केट में भी नियम फॉलो होते हैं. तो वो वीडियो में पूरा का पूरा इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ साइकिल्स, टाइम, patterns is explained. Fantastic. So the market is going to be very interesting, and I'm sure you are going to be enjoying that. Before that, we have a mentorship program which is starting tomorrow. Are you excited? I can see a lot of mentees from tomorrow who have joined in the session. Are you excited to be with me starting tomorrow? And the journey is going to be for next 3 to 4 months long, right? So I can see a lot of you, Pankaj, Mahesh, and a lot of you who are going to join me tomorrow. For 4 months, we are going to be together and discussing about the markets. It starts tomorrow at 10 a.m. So ensure you have enough sleep in the night, because things are going to shake up from tomorrow onwards. And the way you believed the market moves and the way you look at it is going to change from tomorrow onwards. And that I can guarantee you, your entire perception towards market and life is going to change from tomorrow. That is what I'm known for, and that's what my existing mentees from the Feb and the June batch has talked about. So I'm sure you are going to be enjoying that as well. Perfect. And let me now quickly take a polling for understanding what is the Nifty trend in the coming week. Where do you think the Nifty is going to be headed from here on in the coming week? So here is a poll in front of you, people who are participating on the YouTube live. I'm sorry you can't really participate in the polling on YouTube live, but you can definitely post your answers as where do you think Nifty will close? Is it going to go up or go down by the next Friday? What is the polling suggesting? We are going to look at that also very clearly. Now that's a very interesting outcome so far that I can see. Very interesting. Okay, so keep participating. I'm not going to polarize the views, but yes, markets have been very important juncture right now. I'm nowhere suggesting you short this market as of now. For intraday, yes, there would have been opportunities to short intraday, get some 40-50 points or 100 points from there, buy intraday. So those time frame is different. From positional time frame, you need to understand how to go about the market. From medium term swing trading time frame, you have to understand how to go about the market. So that's very important that you understand the time frames that we discuss. होता क्या है, हम टाइम फ्रेम डिस्कस कर रहे लॉन्ग टर्म का एंड देन यू टेक अ ट्रेड फ्रॉम टुमारो. दैट्स नॉट गोइंग टू वर्क फॉर एनी वन ऑफ यू, and that's why it's important you understand the time frame that we are going to discuss. Apart from that, I had a webinar on Wednesday where I talked about neo wave patterns combining with Ichimoku cloud. And how many of you were there for that pattern? You can simply raise the hands. If you are joining me on the Zoom here, you can raise hands. How many of you were there? Okay, fantastic. I can see so many of you who have possibly raised hand. Okay, I can see nearly around 100 people now raising hand and more counting who have attended that webinar. And I hope that webinar actually helped you in order to understand the market in a little different perspective way, right? Okay, fantastic. I'm going to end this poll now. And this poll is very interesting. I'm going to share across the results. The poll suggests that Nifty uptrend is expected by only 42% of the people, and 59% are expecting it to go down by next Friday. That's a very interesting polling outcome. I was actually, to be honest, I was of the views that once the I'll stop the sharing. I was of the view that once the market starts rallying on the upside, the polling is going to get polarized towards the long side, but that is not happening. The polling here, either people have become more intelligent by attending the webinars of Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul, because they are not getting carried away with greed on the long side. I'm not saying you can't trade. Again, try to understand the time frames that we are talking about. When I saying long side greed on the long side, that is more from positional perspective, from a month or 2 months perspective. When I'm talking about intraday trade, you can still take shorts, you can still take long. So a lot of those things are possible. And I've clearly explained in my Wednesday's webinar, which was for nearly around 2 hours, why this is still wave B, and this wave B is possibly an irregular flat or an expanding flat triangle pattern, expanding flat pattern. And that's why we are seeing that B has taken out the highs of A, and where we are right now in terms of the markets that we are looking at. So very interestingly, before I move on further, I just want to share across the mentorship details, because a few of you are asking right now about the mentorship details. So I'm just going to do that very quickly, and then we move on to the charts as well. So if you go to wavestrategy.com, you will be able to see the banner Wave mentorship program. You can simply click on that and you have all the details about the mentorship program, and it is starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I'm sure if there is any last moment interest that you want to join in, you can always jump in, but you have to do it very quickly, right? We want to invest in the market and lose money, rather invest in the learning and keep it for lifetime. That's up to you how you want to see it. So that's the mentorship program. Let me now jump and start sharing across my software screen right now. Okay, here we are on the charts, and let us see what is happening with Nifty. Where do we stand as of now, and why we continue to trade at an important channel resistance levels. So I'm going to connect certain tops together. So if you are connecting these tops together, are you able to see my screen over here very clearly? If I'm connecting the tops together at this point of time, I am getting certain levels on the upside, which is somewhere around this zone. This is the zone where we are right now. Always remember, there is always going to be a zone. There is never going to be a single line. It's a zone of support and resistance that you will always get on the market. So that is the channel that I have right now drawn on the upside. And let's just connect the lows here. Yes, it's working extremely well. So that's the channel that we can see where we are right now. I'm not saying that the markets should reverse from here. I'm saying that I'm keeping a very close watch and trying to understand if it can reverse or it starts going again back on the upside and breaks that 13,000 level. 13,000 is a very important resistance level on the upside now. It's a psychological level for sure, but it's also a channel. So you can see one black red channel which I have drawn as of now. I'm drawing another one, and also remember these things will be available on my Twitter @KyalAshish. So ensure you do follow that, and or if you are live on YouTube, ensure you click on that subscribe button. Guys, we are nearing that 10,000 mark on YouTube. Yes, that's an achievement for me. 10,000 mark on YouTube subscriptions that has happened. So keep liking, keep sharing, and press that bell button. It's going to be fantastic. Okay, back to this chart, and if I'm connecting this channel on the upside, so I'm connecting this channel on the upside, the another one, let me change the color to blue one right now. And if you can see that channel of blue color, you can clearly see this is also an important trend line resistance that markets can follow. So this move from here on looks like we had a wave A on the upside. So let me just make a point here. We had this wave A here, we have this wave B here, and right now we are in wave C. This looks like a zigzag pattern to me from this point onwards. This is a zigzag pattern as of now. There is a possibility that this can either form a complex correction, which means we might see an X wave and a triangle pattern formation. That's a possibility. Or this can turn out to be a neutral triangle pattern. Now, what is a neutral triangle pattern? I'm not going to get in much detail of that. But if it's a neutral triangle pattern, then we should see a move towards this level on the downside and then some pullback near this trend line resistance, and then the move on the downside might start. I'm not saying this is how it's going to behave. I'm just reading out the probable scenarios as of now. On the other side, if Nifty manages to break the higher trends over here, 13,000 with momentum, if Nifty breaks above this, then this can turn out to be an elongated zigzag pattern. Okay, elongated zigzag pattern is possible, and that will happen. Normally wave C will not travel more than 138.2% of wave A. In case of an elongated zigzag, it can travel to 161.8% also of A. That scenario will open up once we see a very strong closing back above that 13,000 20 odd levels. So that's a very important level I'm keeping a watch on. And Nifty has managed to close at a very important juncture as of now, because there is a red trend line resistance which is lying here. There is a blue trend line resistance which is lying here. We are anyways near to that level for now. Also, let me just take a snap of this specific chart, and I'm going to share it across on my Telegram AK Trading Gurukul, and for sure on my Twitter handle @Kyal. So this is how it is looking like as of now. So this was possibly a move on the downside in form of an X wave. We have an A, we have a B. This is a C wave. In this can turn out to be a zigzag or a neutral triangle pattern. For now, both possibilities remain open. If this turns out to be an elongated zigzag, we can expect a move towards 138.2% of wave A, or maybe 161.8% of wave A. So that is a possibility. I'm just showcasing that. But we have seen a pause as of now. Okay, we have seen a pause for now, and that is why I'm suggesting that you have to keep a watch very closely. Okay, let's just try and see it on the weekly chart. So this is a daily chart. Let's see what's happening on a weekly time frame also. So on a weekly time frame, there is nothing much which has changed for now. Nifty has continued to form a big candle, but the low of this week, can someone tell me what was the low? 12,730 is the low. Is it correct? For the week, Nifty formed a low near 12,730 levels and the high at 12,963. So not much happened in this week itself. So can I say that if 12,730 gets broken on the downside, it will indicate there is a pause in the up move, and we might start seeing some kind of a consolidation movement, which we are already witnessing now. Are you with me? I go on an hourly chart, and I again see some kind of a profit booking happening on the upside, then an attempt back on the upside. So that is how it has been behaving. This is the support zone that we derived. Even if you remember, we derived multiple support zones in the program on Wednesday. Isn't that interesting? And if that is the case, then we are at an important juncture. What do we expect now markets to do? We expect markets to possibly move in a range or a consolidation, because after such a sustained rise, we expect it to consolidate. Can you tell me which is the best indicator that can help when you consolidate, when the markets consolidate? Okay, what is the best indicator that you can clearly see? during such kind of a movement? Bollinger Bands, absolutely. That's bang on, guys. Thank you very much, Chaitanya, Jitendra, Pankaj, all of these from the mentorship batch. Brilliant. Okay, you have learned it very well. So let's apply Bollinger Bands and look at the markets now. Okay, we have applied the Bollinger Bands and we are trying to look what is happening on the overall trend side. What is the resistance that you see on the Bollinger Bands? Are you able to see the chart very clearly, hourly Bollinger Bands? What is the resistance now? 12,995. So 13,000 becomes the resistance level. Where is the support on the downside? 12,720 is the support level. That is why Nifty is going to be having a range between 12,995 and 12,720 as of now. I'm going to connect another channel for you. Okay, this webinar I'm going to talk a lot about different types of channels, and I'm going to connect one more channel. So this is the daily channel that you saw. Let me connect an hourly one. Let me just do that. Okay, I'm going to connect an hourly channel, which is a short-term channel over here. Connecting these lows together, projecting it on the upside. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to change its color from blue to black. Okay, I'm going to readjust it properly here. And this channel, I'm going to again redraw it on the upside. So this becomes the resistance level. Now, this is a very important black channel. So if Nifty manages to break above this level of 12,995, can I say that it's headed towards 13,220 odd levels on the upside? That's where the channel is going to be lying and increasing. Also, 13,200 and above is one more Gann square of 9 level. And this I've explained very, very clearly in my monthly research, latest monthly research. I've explained number of levels and basis of lot of inputs on how it should be looking at, how you should be deriving it. A lot of things have mentioned there. So we are right now at this channel. So the blue one is the most important one, and the red trend line that you see here is also a very important one. So blue and the red is important. The black one is the short-term channel. If the blue and the red one is, blue is taken out on the upside and the red one holds on, then yes, we might start seeing a move towards the black trend line resistance. That's one probabilistic scenario. In case we break the black resistance and the lower end of the Bollinger Band, this will also break the red support zone, and this will also again reinforce the levels that we have been looking at from the blue channel perspective. Are you with me? Multiple channels gives you a classic indication. So what I'm saying is, suppose if we break this black and we break this two Bollinger Bands on the downside, then this is the sign that the markets can start seeing a consolidation, and that is going to be resulting into a move in the form of an X wave or in the form of a D wave. And where is that move going to be? That's going to lead it towards the lower end of the trend line or the channel support. And if we manage to break above this blue trend line and also above this level, then the black becomes active, and that's where we can then start heading and then moving in a different kind of an elongated zigzag kind of a pattern. So for now, Nifty is for sure at a very, very important juncture. We are pausing, but we have not shown signs that we are going to reverse. If you apply an RSI, I'm pretty sure on the downside you can look at RSI, and this is how RSI is going to be looking to you. You might start seeing some kind of a divergence on the RSI when you apply that. So that's how you have to combine multiple techniques together. So in this one simple chart, you can clearly see there is an Elliott wave or a Neo wave count that we have plugged in. There is a Bollinger Bands that we have plugged in, an RSI that you can apply, and along with that there is a channel that we can apply and understand that. And if you attended my webinar of Friday, then you have to possibly apply an Ichimoku as well. So many things are applied in such a short span of time on the chart in such a simplistic fashion. Are you getting something out of it or not? Is it making sense to you? The reason I am saying this can be a D or an X wave, because for a bigger downtrend to start, I talked about a two-stage confirmation just 2 days back. And in that, I've explained that the last rising segment, which started from here till here, should be retraced back in faster time. Now, looking at this T price, I think it is lower probable for it to retrace back faster time on the downside. I'm not ruling that out, but I think it's a lower probable scenario. That is why I expect it to be forming either a D or an X, and then some kind of a triangle pattern formation. That's become my preferred scenario. But I'm going to keep a close watch on the slope of the prices. Yes, slope of the price is very crucial. What is slope of the price? Let me explain you that a very different concept that you might never have heard of anyone talking. In fact, I've also not talked about it before, but I'll explain it to you right now. This is the overall angle at 45 degrees. Okay. Now, if the prices continue to go up at an angle which is more than 45 degrees on the upside, that is the slope. So say this slope is somewhere around 65 degrees. That's a positive sign. But if the market starts going up at a slower pace on the upside, that slope say is around 30 degrees. Now you tell me, a break on the downside from here or from here or from here, which one do you think is going to be much stronger? So say this is line A, this is line B, and this is line C. Which break on the downside is going to be a much important move that you can see if it happens? Is it A, is it B, or is it C? I'm going to give you some time to think on it. It's a very important concept. Okay, think again. Where do you think the intensity of the fall is going to be much stronger? Yes, if you are on live on YouTube, you can participate there as well. I see many of you are actually suggesting that it is C wave. That's what I want to talk about again. I'm going to reframe my question and everyone has to participate. See, we want to keep this session a participating learning series. My entire intention is people should learn from what I know over the decades. That's why I am going to be doing, that's what I'm going to do in the mentorship program. I'm again repeating. Tell me, where do you think is the maximum momentum on the upside? Is it at 65 degree? Is it at 45 degree? Or is it at 30 degree? Where is the maximum momentum that prices are seeing on the upside? The maximum momentum, the speed with which prices travel. Okay. If you are an engineer, you understand the slope. How does the slope is measured? Let's enter physics. Now let's apply physics. Yes, Hurst time cycle is a Hurst was J.M. Hurst was a physician. Yes, so on the markets you can apply physics. What is a slope? Slope is y by x. Okay, y by x defines the slope of a line. So y by x is the slope, and if you measure different y by x, you can clearly see that y by x of line C is much steeper than the y by x of a line A. Am I being right? Which means that this angle of 65 degree will have a much higher slope. That's why it is 65 degree, right? That's a science. Okay. If prices are going sharply higher on the upside, can I assume that the momentum is stronger here on the upside than the momentum is stronger on this specific trend? I'm again repeating. Can I say the momentum is the strongest in this specific trend, which is at 65 degree angle? Now, if the momentum is strongest at 65 degrees, and I'm going to apply an analogy here. Okay, if you are driving your car at a speed of 80 kilometers per hour and you want to take a reverse, what will you do? How will you go about it? You're driving your car at an 80 kilometers per hour and you want to take a reverse. How are you going to go about doing that? You're driving at 80 kilometers per hour, you want to take a reverse. You will slow down, right? You need to slow down. You will go from 80 to 60 to 40 to 20, and then specifically you will go stop and take a reverse. Market behaves in very similar fashion. If it has to go down, first it will pause, it will slow down the speed, which means it will reduce its slope from 65 degrees to 45 degrees, from 45 degrees to 30 degrees. And once that slope has reduced, then the momentum on the downside will pick up. Yes. So, which means that the lesser the slope, the sharper chances of reversal is there. That's why whenever the markets are on the upside, let me just clear off the screen for you. Whenever the markets are on the upside, very sharply upside, you will not see a faster retracement of the last rising segment. And that is the reason why the market forms end up forming an X wave. For someone who has attended my Master of Waves program, you will understand X wave very clearly that I'm explaining now. Because the markets will go up steeply like this, come down, slow down to go up again, come down, slow down further, and then the fall happens. In fact, that's resulted into a formation of a head and shoulder pattern also. Are you with me? That's why you see the slope is the highest at this point of time, which is 65 degree. The slope at this point of time becomes 45 degree. The slope at this point becomes 30 degree. And then the market starts falling on the downside. That is how the speed of the market starts reducing. And that's why we start seeing the patterns on the top, which is a head and shoulder pattern that you see on the top. You start seeing double top. You start seeing negative divergence. You start seeing break of the trend lines and support. And that's how the patterns form before the reversal happens, because the slope with which the markets are going up needs to come down gradually. Why is that happening? Logically, let us understand that. Greed greed is what drives the market on the upside, and fear is what drives the market on the downside. At this point of time, greed is extremely high. That's why at every fall you will start seeing the buying emerging. Also at this point of time, people have missed the trend, so as soon as it comes down they jump in. That's why you start seeing greed overpowering the fear, and that emotion drives the market higher. Then the bear starts shorting the market again, but this time greed is not able to drive it much strongly on the upside. And the bears are now aware this is the time. If we thrust in well, then we can break down the entire greed emotion and overpower the bulls. And that's why they first slowly start putting in the supplies, start reducing the speed of the market. Once the speed is reduced, then boom, that's how it behaves. And if you go and check, let me save this across for you on, and you'll get it on my Twitter handle at the rate Kyal Ashish. That's why I'm saying do follow me on the Twitter and on the YouTube. Of course, do you ensure you click on that bell icon so that you keep getting alerts. So this is a science. Now let me explain you on how what happened on 2020 top, and I'm going to clear this off. So if you clearly see, okay, let's just keep it that way. If you clearly see, it's amazing. If you are seeing this chart, it's exactly based on the angles that I have drawn. Can you see that? Can you see this red line, which is exactly coinciding with the angle on the upside that I have drawn? This red line. So you can clearly see that the market was with a very high speed, came down, reduced the speed, came down, reduced the speed much, and then the collapse. This is exactly how it behaved in that entire topping pattern. And that is why right now the speed of the market is at a 65 degree or a 70 degree angle. So reversing back sharply on the downside is a lower probability scenario. I hope you understand by now. I always talk probability. I never talk certainty in the markets. There is always a risk. And that's why when you see this happening, you will start seeing a move on the downside, a slower pace down, a much slower pace, and then a collapse. If it has to go down, if it has to go down, I'm again repeating, I'm just talking about the different probable scenarios in front of you, how the markets behave based on the physics of the slope and the angle. And the angle is given by nothing more but the angle is given by a very simple method that you are anyway seeing on the chart, which is known as the trend line and channel. So these trend lines and channels give you the angle with which the markets are behaving and going on the upside or on the downside. That's why when the market turned on the downside at this point of time, it was very crucial because you can see the steepness reduced from here, slower down, much slower, and then the fall. But yes, this turned out to be an X only. So this would have been a classic reversal pattern on the downside, but the market was in a different mood and steroids, right? And that's why it reversed on the upside. So that's how it behaves. The slope was different, 65-degree, 45-degree, and finally at 30-degree, and then broke on the downside. This is a classic what Gann also explains, talked about. The third time the trend line breaks, it is important. Am I making sense to you? Okay, I think I was in mood to talk something else, but I ended up talking something very different right now. Is it very interesting? Okay, and that's how you measure the slope of the market, and that is how you look at everything in together. Are you with me? Fantastic, guys. And this is how. So, in the coming week, what do we expect markets to do in the coming week? I think the market is at a crucial juncture in a nutshell. I'm going to mention those levels very clearly in my morning daily research report, where you can get hang on where are we right now in the markets and how it's going to behave, and why we should be looking at certain levels. So what is the support levels and what are the resistance levels? I'm going to explain it there itself. And fantastic. So any questions? I hope you have enjoyed today's session. It's so different than what I normally do. This is how I'm going to be talking about from tomorrow onwards on the mentorship program. Okay, before we move on, let me take a poll very quickly. If you want to still join in the mentorship program, you can join in, and here is the polling in front of you. It's starting tomorrow. Would you like to join the mentorship advanced technical analysis 3 months of program? You can simply post in yes, and if you are on the YouTube live, I'll share across the link with you, and possibly that can help you with participating and filling up the form which is there, and you can also participate. So this is going to help us understand, and my team will get in touch with you. Am I making sense to you? Okay, and here is the link. Meanwhile, I'm going to take a few questions also. And here is the link for someone who has some queries or want to fill in the link. You can do that already, which is the link which is shared across by my colleague. You can definitely fill in that. So I'm just looking at a few questions that someone is having. Okay, 65-degree, 30-degree. Okay, Nivedita, you are there in the mentorship program. All the links you will get it by tonight. Before, after this webinar, in an hour time, you will get the link. Do not worry about it. So, do not worry about this at all. Okay, there is another question. Okay, so these different degrees, how do we measure it on the stocks? Yes, you can measure it on the stocks. So, see, in a simple concept, what you have to do, simply look at it. If you want to go for a long position, look at the steepness. Is the stock going with a very strong momentum and at an angle which is more than 45-degree? You look for buying opportunities in those stocks. Is it going down it is going up at an angle of 30-degree? You need to start finding out shorting opportunity in those stocks. So that is how, by measuring the slope of a trend line, you can in fact derive trades that you want to do. You can use it as an algo. You can measure it, you can automate these kind of techniques, and trust me, it's going to give you fabulous result. Okay, and that's how you have to behave. Perfect. Then I am going to stop my polling right now, and I'll not be able to take any more questions. I've already overshotted my time. And thank you very much, guys. For any doubts and any program, you can reach out to us on 9920422202. I'm going to see you for the mentorship program tomorrow. And Amit has a question. Amit wants to speak with me. Sure, post the session. We will connect together, Amit, and we will discuss about whatever doubts, queries you might have. Okay, so do get in touch with us and do visit wavestrategy.com. Ensure you like that, subscribe the YouTube channel. It's 10,000, nearing that 10,000. Will you be the one to click for that 10,000 button for me, please? Okay, and do share it across, and YouTube and Twitter as well is Kyal Ashish. And this is Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul, and I'm signing off. See you again same time on a Friday next week. And for the mentees, get ready to get thrilled from tomorrow onwards in the ways you have never imagined possible, seeing the market with a different perception, because it all takes is a perception about in the market rather than anything else. So perception is what we have to increase. If you improve your perception, your trading accuracy will definitely increase. But understand, you need to use a stop loss very importantly. Thank you very much. See you again same time Friday next week, Friday at 4. Have a wonderful weekend.